Okay, so just back from the cinema, I went to check out M3GAN 2.0. Okay, this is directed by Gerard Johnstone, once again, who co-wrote the film with Akela Cooper, who is also back. Right, the film is produced by Allison Williams, James Wan, and Jason Bloom. It's executive produced by Michael Clear, Greg Gilreff, Adam Hendricks, Gerard Johnstone, Mark David Couture, Judson Scott, Ryan Turek, with John Romano co-producing, and line production from Annie Weston. Chris Bacon is on with the music. Toby Oliver took care of cinematography. Jeff McKevy is on editing duties. Right, so casting, that was handled by Miranda Rivers, Terry Taylor, and Sarah Domia Lindo. On production design, we have Brendan Hefferman and Adam Wheatley. Tracy Collins is set decoration. Costume design is Joanna San Juan. Hair and makeup, we have Joe Baker, Antigue McCannon, Sarah Rabano, Shannon Sinton, and Paula Taylor. So our cast. Who was in this? So returning as Gemma, we have Allison Williams and her niece. I feel it's the niece, right? Violet McGraw as Cady. So we have got Amie Donald playing M3GAN, the physical iteration, right? Again. And Jenna Davis is voicing M3GAN. Amelia is played by Ivanna Sakhno, right? Cole is back, played by Brian Jordan Alvarez. So is Tess, played by Jen Van Epps. We've got who else do we have? Todd is played by Mike Edwards. Christiane is played by Aristol Afari. Okay, who else is there? There is Tim Salter is played by Tim Sharp. We got the tech billionaire, who I cannot think of his name now. He is played by Jermaine Clement. And Lydia, Caddy's therapist, is played by Amy Usherwood. So the gist of the story: 2 years after M3GAN's rampage, her creator Gemma resorts to resurrecting her infamous creation in order to take down Amelia, the military-grade weapon who was built by a defense contractor who stole M3GAN's underlying tech. So, yes. Yeah. Right? Now, we took a look at M3GAN back in 2022. Actually, we took a... Was it 2022? Yeah, it was just later. I didn't go bother with that at the cinema. I waited for it to come on TV. Didn't love it, but it's cool, right? It was built for those that like, that kind of AI monster horror tech kind of thing. And it probably worked for them. But, the sequel's coming. And we have to bring you all the films. So I took a look at this one. And it kind of felt like they were going for a Terminator 2 kind of thing, right? And there's definitely a scene in it that reminded me of Terminator 3. You know, the bit at the end, I think when he's got Claire Danes and Edward Furlong, and he's just like, are you gonna let all those people die? And he's just like, I'm only protecting you. You're the only person I give a fuck about. You know, not verbatim, but that's essentially what he said, right? And it was just that cold kind of like, oh, fuck. So the rest of the world can die. He's just trying to, you know what I mean? And it was a good scene. The film itself was mid, but that was a good scene. And there's a similar scene like that. So there's it did kind of invoke memories of Terminator 2 and 3 when watching this, especially with the whole Amelia addition to it. It's trying to think of what word to use there for addition. Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, we start off, right, you know, this whole kind of journalist being kidnapped and this mission and all, and it doesn't go to plan. Oh no, shit. Right, but you see it's not going to go to plan. As soon as the woman bursts into the room, she's like, hey, how dare you do this? You know, as my man then gets a little cocky, so you just know it's, okay, this is going to fuck up somehow. I think that's the big thing. Throughout the film, you can kind of see where it's going. Right, with certain characters, behavior, you're like, I think that person, I think those people, I assume this will take place. Right, I feel you can predict it all if you've watched enough films. Right, I mean, if you've watched a few films, it's not that deep. Right, it's not that deep, people. But that's fine. That's fine, you know. We like in places you go, okay, but right. So the kind of thing they're trying to do with Gemma, you understand it. You don't believe it, but you understand what they're trying to do with the character. You know. The caddy stuff is just that whole thing, you know, it wasn't Tai Chi, but the Tai Chi, you know, and it's just like, oh, I wanted you to be, you know, the pacifist. Like, it just, you get it. And also, it's a situation of, right, that you never, in any film, TV show, whenever there's trouble at school, it's always, what did you do? Oh, they're being suspended. And it's never like, yeah, but they're getting bullied. Right? It's never that. And it's just like, it's getting a bit boring, you know? Because I'm sure at these days, there's probably cameras all over the place in schools. I mean, other than the toilets and the changing rooms, you know what I mean? So you would be able to see what happened. Like, you would know this girl's most likely getting bullied when you consider everything that went down. So it's just kind of like, oh, what are we doing? You know, so it's just things like that. It's just the whole, I'll tell you everything and you tell me everything. It's just like, ugh. It's not reality, right? It's not reality. Everyone lies, you know? When it comes to the parents, you're not going to, and when I say everyone lies, right, it's not necessarily you're lying about big things, but there's certain things that you're not going to, hey, did you have a good day at school? Yeah, it was great. And it was not, but you're not going to be like, oh yeah, this happened. And oh, you know, you just doesn't really happen, you know? So the characters, there's still not a lot of depth behind them. And they get more work than Cole and Tess. It really did seem pointless for those two to be back in the film, because they're just not doing anything, right? They're kind of there all the way through, but there's nothing substantial. You know what I mean? They're doing nothing substantial. It's just like, okay, fine, let's have them here. You know? It's one of them films that I think they're just trying way too many things. Right? Way too many things. And, oh, let's throw in this plot twist and let's do this and that will be fun. Like, the singing part was so random and just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Right? The first film, it felt like they wanted to try and be scary, try and be creepy. This one, it's like they wanted to try and be funny. And you could just all of these terrible jokes and moments that they're trying to engineer, like towards the end, and Megan's just like, oh, wait, I can see that you're angry and kind of aroused. And it's just like, what? Like, you just, this is a little bit of a pause. So you know they're thinking everyone's going to laugh, right? Everyone's going to laugh at this bit. Oh, it's going to be so amusing. It falls so flat, right? It falls so flat. And there's a lot of those moments, right? Even the singing part, it just went on way too long. But you know that they think, oh, this is going to be so funny, right? And it's just littered with this. So they've gone, you know what? We're not going to be scary. Let's be funny as fuck. And it's not. It's not funny. Well, I didn't think it's funny. Others may be laughing their heads off. I don't know. No one laughed in the screening I was in. Right? No one really laughed. I think there was one person maybe chuckling, but no one laughed throughout this film. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, they're trying to force so much in here, right? Like with the different AI components and adding the new robot and just, the acronyms. Right. Anyway, because Amelia stands for Autonomous Military Engagement Logistics and Infiltration Android, right? I think someone maybe read too many X-Men comics and like MODOK. They just... instead, I feel the first film, as I said, I didn't love it, but the story was more straightforward. This one, just, the tech billionaire, right? The other robot, AI, right? This whole journalist thing, the other subplot, right? All of this. Like, there's a bit with the FBI, and you're just going, why the fuck would that be the way they approach it? You're just scratching your head like, I don't even know why, right? And the fact that this is the outcome with these highly trained people, this is the, there's just a lot of that, right? There's just a lot of that. And, I just found it pondering. It just kind of pondered. The squirrel suit was super, like it just looked so CGI. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. You had these kind of parts of the film that just look bad. And this story, just the whole, just everything. I imagine they're going to do a M3GAN 3, right? I think there's another spin-off film coming next year, right? That's based in the universe, but not following these characters. But I bet they're going to do a third M3GAN, right? It just screams continuation once this is all said and done. But I do feel, because although it's not, they've kind of forsaken horror, I still kind of feel that if you enjoyed the first, this one will probably work for you. You know? It's that kind of thing. Yeah. It's like that Smile film, right? Again, just they didn't work for me, but I can see how people can gravitate to them, right? And I think this is a similar thing. If you enjoyed the first, you'll enjoy this, right? I think if you enjoyed Smile 2, you'll enjoy this, right? If you enjoyed Companion, you'll enjoy this. Right, so M3GAN 2.0 is doing its thing in the cinema right now. Enjoy.